Hey, it's Geek Public Radio right here on geekpublicradio.com. How are you guys doing? I am doing fantastic. With me, as always, is Crazy Chris. We are here. We're going to talk about how WB is a little bit of a mess. Rush Twitch Rivals is a bit of a joke. And we have a bit of a correction from last week's show. All that more right here on Geek Public Radio.
You're listening to the GPR podcast, where two old guys, talk about new games, movies, most things geeky, and generally be old in front of your eyes, not cold. Now, here's Topher and Crazy Chris, being all old.
Yeah, what is happening, brother?
Man, it's always one thing after another. I swear with us, we get everything nice and set, and it's perfect. We're ready to rock and roll.
And then we got to change it.
Then we got to change everything. So for those of you who may not be aware, what up, homie? Nice to see you in the chat. Thank you. I'm broadcasting from my home currently. I had an issue with my vehicle. This particular part that I need is on back order. Apparently there's like a huge recall, and I don't pay attention to my mail, so I did not see what was necessary. But there was a component that was draining the alternator and causing issues, so I have to get a replacement for that because everything's on back order. I have to wait, so I am stuck in the house until I can figure out exactly how to fix that particular issue. Not a big deal, though. We're still going to be kicking it to you live, man. We wouldn't miss this show for you guys. We would not miss this show to deliver to you guys the geek news that you have come to expect and the cradle of excellence from which we deliver said news, right? There we go. I'm going to start using that cradle of excellence. That's a new thing. Anyways, as he has already mentioned, I'm Crazy Chris. Listen, I'm allowed to lie, okay? This is Talking Head Radio. This is YouTube. We're allowed to lie. Apparently, you can say whatever you want. Apparently, I want to get blacktopped. I'm not sure what that means, but the answer is probably no. I'm not okay. I'm missing a flux capacitor. That is absolutely correct. And then over here, I'm so used to you having me mirrored the proper way, and now I've got to get used to this again. Over here with me, of course, Topher the Paranormal Hobo. We are thankful for each and every single one of you guys in the chat. We are thankful for every single person that tunes in to watch the show each and every single week. Without you guys, this would not be possible. We got a lot of news to deliver, a lot of things to talk about. Warner Brothers, as is mentioned, is in a dangerous flashpoint. That news will make sense as we come about. We've got some new games and stuff coming out, some updates to some existing games we're going to discuss as well. But before we get into all of that, make sure that you go down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then, of course, to beat the evil YouTube algorithm, you absolutely have to share this with your friends, okay? So after the show is finished, man, while it's going on, while we're live, tell your friends about it. Share it wherever you are. For those that are joining us on Twitch, of course, subscribe to the channel. You can find us. All the socials are up here. You can find each and every single one of us. Our personal socials are going to be down here at the very bottom. So if you would like to follow us on Twitter, check us out on Facebook. This is where you guys are going to do that. I like, by the way, you can see the baby Yoda in the background. You can see my little, I can't really turn my finger, the prop, there we go. My baby Yoda. But yeah, so we're just going to jump right into it. I'm just going to talk about a little bit about some Mario Kart updates, right? So it's a popular game. Everybody likes it. I have it on the Switch. It is super fun. Mario Kart Deluxe 8. Which was released for the Switch several years ago. At this point, we have not had a new Mario installment or a Mario Kart installment series to the series in quite a while. So what they have continued to do, though, is update with new tracks. Some of the new tracks are a twisting, confusing array of bright and colorful casts, but I am not a huge fan of the system with which they're delivering these new tracks. They're going to be doing all this. My estimation is just give us a new game, right? And I'm sure there's probably a lot of you out there that feel the exact same way. I talk with my hands a lot, so you're going to see my fingers, my phalanges constantly moving. But yeah, if you guys have any comments about that, man, make sure you drop them down below. Nintendo is also planning to release Breath of the Wild 2 sometime, I believe, next year. I'm very excited for that release. However, some rumors have started to circulate a little bit. But as is tradition with a lot of its sequel installments of games, when they carry a story from a previous entry, they typically will use a reset type feature. Something happened to the character, loses all their powers. Metroid was very popular for doing that. Samus would often be attacked. She wouldn't have, she'd start out ultra powerful, and then something would happen. She'd lose all her powers, and they'd be taken. You had to find them all. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is probably a perfect example of that. You start off with all this cool stuff, and then, of course, as you go through, you have to collect all those power ups. Oh God. Okay, so apparently that's Black Toppy for anybody who was curious about that. Thank you. Appreciate that. And then, of course, so the answer to the question that you asked in the chat is no, I would not like to be Blacktop, but very much appreciate the offer. I'm flattered that you would think that my hindquarters would be sufficient for that. So thank you for that. Thank you for considering me. But Breath of the Wild 2 is scheduled to come out, like I said, 2023, and they're going to be making some changes. The Sheikah Slate is rumored to not be a part of the series anymore. They might be using something completely different for the upgrades and the powers. Some more observant fans have noticed that Link has what looks like some type of spell or something on his arm, some kind of curse, similar to the seals that you would see from Breath of the Wild. So it'll be interesting to see how Nintendo develops that system, whether they're going to be using the powers that were available from the Sheikah Slate, like the Magnesis, and the Dura's Grace and all that stuff. Not Dura's Grace, my God, that's completely different. But anyways, using some of the spells and abilities that were available from Breath of the Wild to help you in your fight against Ganon, and seeing if those are going to translate to Breath of the Wild 2, or if they're going to re-implement a magic system has been rumored as well. So there's lots of stuff going on. Nintendo, of course, always tight-lipped about their stuff. One of the industry leaders in keeping secrets from the rest of the planet. But as always, man, we'll give you guys the news as we get it. I'm still excited for it. I can't honestly think of a Zelda game that they've swung and missed on. So whatever they come up with, I'm sure fans are going to adore. Breath of the Wild was a complete overhaul of the way that the Legend of Zelda system operated, and it was free roaming, and then it was an open world game. So as long as it keeps that type of familiarity, I'm sure fans will absolutely dig it. I personally, if they keep that, I will dig it. I will still play it. It'll be probably a day one purchase for me. I don't do that very often, but certain games like that, I'm right on it. Elder Scrolls 6, when it decides it finally wants to come out, that'll be a day one purchase. Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda franchise falls in the same category for me. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to the game. As I said, we over here at Geek Public Radio, we're looking forward to it. If you guys have any comments about it, or if you've heard any other rumors besides the ones that I've mentioned, man, drop them in the comment section, right? That's what the comment section is for. It's what we talk about. If you're in the chat room with us, you want to talk about it, shoot us a chat, man. Love to answer, hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, that's some Nintendo news. We have some cool sponsors that we want to talk about a little bit. A neat little podcast has come to our attention. We have talked about it before. Space Marine 2, first day. Okay, yeah, Space Marine 2. All right, I'm not opposed to that whatsoever, man. But if you guys, excuse me. So this podcast, if we've got, they've sponsored our show in the past. We love them to death, man. They got a great podcast over there. We're gonna have you guys check that out. Topher, haha. I almost did it, but I did it right this time. Topher, go ahead, man. Take it away. Show the people what they need.
Do you ever want to know what goes bump in the night and then laugh your way through each horrific revelation? Then you should find yourself listening to the Terrifying Lies podcast. Each episode brings you a new chilling tale written by the deranged and maniacal Craig Nybo. But it's not just the thrilling tales you will hear. Each story is also accompanied by an original score by Nybo himself to help drive home the horror in all of its glory. The tales are woven with expert precision, and the music serves as a haunting backdrop for each telling. A new episode arrives on the first and third Friday of every month at high noon. Special episodes at midnight on the night of every full moon to keep you going. There's also a bevy of special guests to be found, so you don't want to miss a single spooky minute. The Terrifying Lies podcast, your home for horror.
Man, I don't know who did that, but their voice is awesome. They had a fantastic voice. I need to hear more of that voice. I think you can go to blackbookmovie.com and download an Audible from somebody that does that. I'm pretty sure the voice of that commercial. Did they do an audible for the Black Book?
No.
Was it the
That
same
was
guy? It's
all
not the same guy?
automated.
Different guy
No, that
altogether.
was
Okay, it's a
all
different guy.
automated.
Wasn't he Cambodian? I feel like he was Cambodian. I feel like you had a book thrown at you at some point during the recording. But yeah, man, guys, go check out that podcast, man. They're great, man. Craig is cool cap. We're very thankful for Craig. Thank you for sponsoring the show, buddy. We appreciate you very much. Each little bit of that helps us out tremendously. So if you are looking for sponsorships, man, that's a great segue. If you guys are looking for sponsorships, want to get your product out there, we'd be more than happy to do a commercial for you guys, place you on our show, allow you to have, some airtime on our airtime. All right. So, do you want to talk about Warner Brothers right now, or do you want to give it a little bit of time?
End on that.
You want to end on Warner Brothers? Okay, I feel like that's going to be a long discussion. So we'll get to the correction because I feel like that's important. Let's get the correction out of the way.
Right.
So last show, we erroneously delivered the news that Blue Beetle was being canceled. Blue Beetle is not being canceled. They have finished the production of the movie. They're still planning to release that in 2023. So it is good news for those who are Blue Beetle fans or who are just interested in seeing a different sort of character from the DC universe, like myself. It is cool to develop those types of side characters, and hopefully they do this really well. So for those that don't know, Blue Beetle is a scarab that latches onto the back of a Hispanic man. And then from there, he gets like this cool set of space alien armor. The Tick is loosely based off of it. It's an interesting concept. It's a cool comic. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check out any Blue Beetle stuff, go look at it, man. It's worth a read. It's actually done, I feel like it's done surprisingly well. It's drawn and illustrated. Great. It looks beautiful for the most part. I mean, there's always the one-off comics that are like, who drew this? I have no talent, so I don't have a lot of room to critique, but those who can't do teach. So, but yeah. So there's that.
Time we did this?
Vaguely. Didn't you die?
But did you die?
I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember like what happened.
The mic fell down.
Okay. Oh, is this on? I thought that was live. I thought we were on a. No, I was at your house when that happened. When the mic fell over.
No, well that.
Oh, that was the camera.
Yeah.
That's right. That was the camera that did that. That's right. I remember now.
Is because when we moved things around, I had to mount it to the desk over here, and it just wasn't quite. So as I'm sitting here, it's slowly going down, and I was like, why am I having to talk down here?
It's like watching a picture of Rosie O'Donnell. That's what happens to me when I see Rosie O'Donnell. Just
right.
Think. Whenever I want to last just a little bit longer, it's my go-to. Thanks, Rosie.
We had so they ain't doing Ted Cord.
I thought Cord. I have no idea who Ted Cord is, to be quite honest with you. I feel like I should know that name. He's going to tell us who it is, and I'm going to be like, son of a bitch. It's going to be right in there. Like I'm going to recognize it right away. It's going to be really irritating. Anyways, yeah, type of who's Ted Cord? Like we're curious now. I'm curious. Is it Blue Beetle? No, I thought it was a Hispanic dude.
Ted Cord is the second Blue Beetle.
Okay. No, apparently they're not. Apparently they're doing the original Blue Beetle then. I think. Yeah. No, it wasn't so was Ted Cord the original or the second Beetle then?
According to the intertubes, he is the second Blue Beetle.
Okay. So so the original one was the Hispanic one. It was like an Arabian or a Aztec beetle or something there, or a scarab or something that like attaches to his back. And I think that's what I you know what? I'm gonna have to redo it. I'm just gonna have to look up my lore and figure it out. But a lot of DC / Warner Brothers news.
The very first one was Dan Garrett.
Dan Garrett. Okay, so then
who Dan Garrett, Ted Kord, then Jamie Reyes. Reyes was actually the third one.
Oh my God, I had it backwards. Okay, well, they're doing the Reyes one, apparently. Huh. Man, I had that completely backwards. Okay. Lord Hive. Yeah, so there you guys go. You guys got some cool stuff. So Dan Garrett was the first one. Then you had Lee Harvey Oswald as the Ted Kord as the second one. Jamie Reyes is
Now I have that
the
song
third.
stuck in my head.
You are welcome.
Because they cut the cord.
Shine. Oh, listen, we thrive on dad jokes around here, but that was bad. Oh, yeah, you got to cut it out. Is it cut it? Isn't it cut it and then out? Cut it out. Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, whatever. There we go. We're done.
Yeah.
See, everybody, that's my time. Anyways, so jumping back onto the bandwagon here. A lot of DC news, a lot of Warner Brothers news. Those two are just intrinsically tied. That's just how it's gonna work. There is a new video game on the horizon. I don't know, Topher, if you've seen anything about this or not. The Gotham Knights, which would take place, of course.
But I haven't seen much about it.
I think it looks really interesting. It's a cool take in the DC universe, specifically. Looks like it'll have elements of Bloodhaven, also obviously Gotham City. So it follows Red Hood, Nightwing, Batgirl, and then there's a fourth one, and Brain is just it's just gone.
Now,
so,
is this an Arkham style game, or is it like?
It appears to be. It appears to be. It looks like one of the main protagonists is actually going to be Mr. Freeze, which I super appreciate. But it's sort of faction based. It looks like they're trying to clean up. So the story seems to be that the Gotham Knights are trying to clean up rival gangs that are rivaling, or that are rivals. They're fighting against each other, and then through that they're running criminal empires and syndicates and et cetera, et cetera. So looks like you're probably just going to work your way down sort of the rogues gallery for Nightwing, Red Hood, and characters like that. I'm not sure how much of the character development we're going to see, if it's just going to launch you into all four characters are available to start, if it's going to be a smash and beat 'em up type style game, which I'm not opposed to. I think those are fun. The Marvel Alliance games were super fun because of that. I thought those were great games. Like the Marvel Avengers Alliance, where you got to play several different characters. That was a super fun game to me. But it does seem to be centered Arkham play style. So it's got a third person where you're going to be walking around, less focus on the detective work, more focus on obviously Nightwing being trained by Batman obviously is very good at discovering clues. But right. It does appear as though he's going to be, it's probably going to be more combat focused and more bust in the front door, take out the bad guys, work your way up the chain, standard style fighting. I would imagine that it'll have like a collectible system, much the way that the Arkham games did. And it is being developed by Rocksteady. Warner Brothers Quebec, I believe, is the studio, which they're the Alberta. It's Alberta or Quebec, one of the two. But their studio up there are the ones that one of those places in Canada, yeah. And so it's one of them. For all of our Canadian listeners out there, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not sure what you're mad about. Anyways, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Gotham Knights too. Super cool concept to me that we're not going to be following Batman. I feel like there are enough Arkham games. There were freaking 4 of them. So I think having a diversion or a diverting of the storylines and actually following heroes that are not just locked into Gotham, because Batman's a territorial prick, and that's just where he likes.
My question is this: we have like all of these Batman games, and they spread out for like all of the Arkham series, and then we get one game with 4 different. 4
Listen,
different,
if it's Diablo style, let's do this. Like if it's a roguelike game. I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
you're sitting there, I guess you'd be like, so and so do that, whatever, and then you can like hop into that person. Like when in the Arkham games where you were, the last one when Riddler kidnapped
Oh
Catwoman,
God,
and you had to switch between the two in order to
yeah.
get out.
Um, it might have something along those lines. Uh, I haven't seen a lot of the gameplay yet. It's set to release October 25th, 2022. So I mean, it's the deadline. It's 2 months away, 3 months away, realistically, and everything appears to be on course, on track. Unlike several other things with Warner Brothers, we'll talk about here later. But this one, at least their video games empire and their animated empire seems to be doing quite well. But
That
as
was the
far
thing
as
with
the
DC and Warner Brothers, like their animated stuff was always fantastic.
it's bar none the best animated stuff that's out there. As far as comic books are concerned, like the DC cannot be touched. Their animation team. I mean, you got Batman Beyond, you've got the Batman the animated series. All of those were so good in the way that they delivered their stories, and then like the Killing Joke was adapted into an animated show. I mean, just they're awesome. They handle all of these stories so perfectly and still maintain it in a fresh and new way. And it's an expansion of the same media, and I love it. It's perfect for me. And the video game franchises have typically been pretty good. Injustice, Gods Among Us, both the first and the second one, took the Injustice universe. They actually spawned because the video games were developed, and those actually spawned comic lineage or comic lines. So the video games came first. Video games were just their own story, and from that, all of these other stories came to be. So just their animated video game departments are excellent. And Rocksteady, of course, making most of these games, has just provided a great publisher access to fantastic mediums to tell their own stories. And I think that's really cool. I would love to do that myself. And you spoke of, controlling two different characters maybe at the same time. That might be an element they bring to it. But what I would like to see personally is the story changes if you lose a character. So there's four of
That
you.
would be cool. I don't know how you would code that, but
I mean, it's the same way you would code any type of game. Like Telltale Games has several different variants depending on how you choose your adventure. So, I mean, it would just be event triggered as opposed to text triggered. If the event occurs that your character dies at a certain mission, then you have a chance to rescue them. Boom, it pops up on the map. There's a rescue mission. It just triggers. I mean, Star Fox 64. I mean, we're talking way back in the 90s. This was a thing that you could do. There's very altered paths that, depending on what you did during the mission, would unlock a new path for you to travel. So I feel like probably based on the same principle, just event triggered versus text trigger. But I don't know.
well,
That's
I
just me.
mean,
It'd be a cool. I think it would be a cool concept to invoke. Instead of giving you a game over, gives you kind of like a secondary mission, and you could really like ratchet up the tension if you added some timed elements to it. Like you have like 1 hour from that moment to rescue them, and if you don't rescue them, they die. You lose them permanently throughout the rest of the game. Kind of adding that the Telltale series, like from Tales from the Borderlands, Walking Dead, adding some of that to a video, to like to an actual controlled style video game versus a what story based. I can't remember what those are called.
yeah, no, that's
Story.
what I was
Yeah.
wondering. Like, because like there has been some Batman games that are story based
Mhm.
in the sense like this happens and you got to click a button, whatever, and like you're literally not really playing a game, you're watching a story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool, and it's not really like, okay, this is dumb. I'm not actually playing a game. I'm watching a
Yeah.
comic book. It's like an
Yeah.
interactive.
I think incorporating. I think the idea, the concept of it is cool. Like a multiple choice, multiple narrative. There we go. Narrative based game. Multiple, but having like a multiple narrative would be cool. And you know what's really cool? I mean, what's really weird about that is since like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasies back in the day, even games before that, that would offer you multiple endings depending on what you did in the game, right? And I feel like a lot of modern games have kind of gone away from that.
Well, I mean,
Most
then you
notable,
had like even Fable, where like
yeah,
as you if you kick a puppy, whatever, too many times, you become an evil character, and like it
yeah,
actually physically
exactly.
changes you.
And I think adding some stuff like that to modern gaming, not all games need that, obviously, but games like, you know, like Gotham Knights, for instance, adding a real, because comic book characters die. They don't always stay dead, but they absolutely die. So having those types of elements in your game, especially a comic-based game, that could add some serious flavor to the standard beat 'em up, hack and slash, detective, figure out what's going on type of game. I think that'd be cool, personally.
And then it goes into the achievements for the achievement hunters and say like
Yeah,
beat the game without losing Jason Todd or
chain together 500 combos. Play the game as Jason Todd and kill every single player or kill every single enemy. But yeah, so Gotham Knights coming out October 25th, 2022.
So the fourth one isn't Damian Wayne, is it?
I don't think so, but it might be. It might be Damian Wayne. I mean, that'd be neat. All speculation, by the way, at this point is that there is no appearance of Batman at all as far as a playable character is concerned, whether he appears in the narrative at all. Anybody's guess at this point.
Nightwing, Hood, Batgirl, and Robin.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's probably why I didn't think of it, because I was thinking Nightwing is Robin, but that makes sense.
No, yeah, Damian Wayne, the Robin that likes to come around and chop people in half with a samurai sword.
Yeah, I was thinking it's Damian Wayne. Asmon? No, not Asmon. Asgul?
Asmongold?
No, he's a character in Batman, and I'm blanking on his name. But
Ra's al Ghul?
No. He took the place of like Asheroth or something. He took the place of Batman when Batman had his back broken, or became too old when old man Batman, and he took Batman's place. Anyways, a whole thing with that. But regardless, Gotham Knights, like I said, October 25th, 2022. We dwelled enough on this. Let's talk about something else, though. If something that you dwell about happens to be the security of your internet provider, then you should probably get yourself a VPN. And of course, I'm talking about what we use here at GPR, and that is ExpressVPN. You can find yourself in a world of hurt if you do not protect your privacy. VPN is one of the coolest things, where it offers you the chance to be able to lock in. Are you going to be able to show the video, or am I just rambling?
No. No, you're good. Keep going.
Okay. ExpressVPN is the world's largest VPN provider. They have access points all across the globe, and they provide an unmatched and unparalleled level of security. If you guys were ever curious about who could see your data, even if you're in incognito mode, you are not protected, man. Your service provider, your workplace, not that you should be doing anything at work, but your workplace, everybody can see what you're doing at any given time on your network, unless you have a VPN. VPN does a great job by masking your IP. No matter what website you visit, your providers, your security are in good hands. You can also change your local regional codes to be able to watch movies from all around the world. If you want to watch something that's only available in Germany, you guys can do that. If you would like a 3-month free trial, you can sign up using our code down here at the bottom, expressvpn.com/geekpublicradio. Get your 3 free months, man. Give it a shot. It'll change the way that you browse the web. That's expressvpn.com/geekpublicradio. Use what the pros use. ExpressVPN.
Good. I like that one.
Good take. Use that one. Use that take.
Use that one.
Run it back. Let me see. I got the corrections out of the way. I don't have the list in front of me because it's on my phone and I'm using my phone. So,
well, we have Rust.
Oh, you wanted to talk about Rust? That's right. All right, you go talk about Rust. I need to go run and grab something really quick. Everybody enjoy my background for just a few minutes. I'll be right back.
All right. So one of the things that we was weird though, and he went to go do that while I was, is I like playing Rust. I like it more when the tape out of the way. I like it more when nobody's there, and because generally that's a toxic atmosphere sometimes. I'm actually in the middle of putting a video together that shows what Rust is really like to play, and literally getting killed before you even log in. The screen pops on, like it starts loading things, and literally every time, as soon as that thing I spawn to where I'm awake on the beach, it doesn't even get to there. It cuts to the the dead where I have to spawn again, and like I go through that for like 10 minutes before I spawn in an area that I can run away before I die. But beside the point, the one of the things that they're doing right now for Rust is called Twitch Rivals, and it's a thing that
I have no idea what that was, guys. I'm really sorry.
but
I think
with Twitch
I hit a button
Rivals,
on my microphone.
it's a whole bunch of things, like a whole bunch of Twitch streamers who are like XQC, Willjum, um, those guys who play Rust on their streams and whatnot. Like they are now team versus team and doing all that stuff. And to celebrate, for this kind of tournament style thing for the next few days, Twitch and Rust are doing Twitch drops, which you can get skins for your gun, you get skins for your clothes and your doors and all sorts of stuff. The problem is you have to watch X amount of hours of streams to get your drops, which is normal for any drop.
Yeah.
You have some guys who are out there who are literally just having a pre-roll loop saying, that, like, hey, get your drops, watch the thing, yada, 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 here's what we're dropping, and it just kind of loops and loops and loops, and you can literally sit that and then walk away and get your drops. And then there's others who are actually playing and they don't count, like XQC. I'm still trying to get. I got every other drop on the board. I'm still trying to get XQC's first one, I'm like 98%. And every time I catch him, it's like, okay, cool, we're gonna watch this, we're gonna do whatever. And then he's like, all right, well, I'm done, and he goes over and starts playing slots. And that doesn't count. It takes him out of the Twitch Rivals thing, which means now that he's off of the Twitch Rivals, you can't get your stuff. So I'm literally sitting here going,
what are you supposed to do with that?
I was watching this because like Willjum is the one that I watched and had no problem because I like his videos. He does a lot of solo Rust adventures videos on YouTube and whatnot. But it gets to the point where like certain individuals are hardly ever on. When they are on, you can't watch it, like, because you finally get close to the number, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do something else, switch." And then you hear them complaining about people being there doing all of this stuff, and they're not able to play the games that make them money. So like with XQC, like the slots and all of the other stuff that he's sponsored by the people to play, so he can't do all of that stuff. So you're literally not getting like. It's been 18 hours of me watching people farm.
I mean, if I wanted to watch 18 hours of farming, then I would just keep playing Borderlands 2.
It's one of those, like, okay, we were talking about something, or they were talking about something, and they're like, okay, when's the raid start? Like they're just literally going out farming and building up their bases, so when the raids start, they have enough stuff to deal with it. So it's literally watching XQC make bullets. Like he runs through a box, collects all of the sulfur, runs to another box, collects all of this other stuff, puts it all together. Now he's got gunpowder, and then he goes to another box and grabs metal filings, and then he makes bullets all day. And it's like, okay, cool. I guess I'll just sit here and watch him do all of the whatever to get my, because he's got a cool door. I'm like, the door. And yeah.
I mean, is this maybe a case where he just doesn't want to give stuff out?
No, like he's on at weird times.
Oh, okay.
And then
So it's a
He's on
combination of
it
he's not on for very long, and you're also not able to catch when he's on because he just kind of plays
right.
sporadically.
Yeah.
That's fair. Listen,
And
guys, when we start doing our Twitch, we'll probably have a more like a consistent schedule of times that we're actually streaming, so that way you guys know when to catch us. My schedule in particular is actually going to start loosening up pretty soon. So I'll be able to, like, 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, for instance, I'd be able to stream for a little bit on Twitch. Maybe not for all night or anything like that, but at least for a little while, interact with you guys a little bit more on Twitch instead of just watching us do lives on YouTube or on StreamYard. But yeah, being able to deliver that to you guys for sure.
I've been kicking around the idea of doing.
You should get back to doing it. You were gaming on Twitch all the damn time, and I was like, cool, I don't have to do it.
Well, I was thinking about doing it with Rust, but
do it. It's still a popular game.
Right, but the only way I can play it and actually get anywhere is to be on a dead server.
Why don't you stream Fallout? People still watch that one too.
Because when I get in there, I quite literally I log in, and I was saying before, like when you're doing your thing, I've literally logged in, and by the time I go to spawn in, I'm already dead. Like I haven't even actually, the screen hasn't even changed. It doesn't even go to me lying on the beach to wake up and whatever, and then people be attacking me. I literally, before it kicks to the spawn, like, oh, spawn, you've been killed.
On Fallout?
Started. No, on Rust.
No, Rust. Okay, you're talking about joining like other people.
I was thinking about putting a funny video together of like what it's like to really play Rust, and it's just a series of people being
just you getting killed constantly.
Yeah.
Kind of like the videos of what it's like to play.
I don't have anything.
What it's like to play Elden Ring for the first time. Just that little cartoon where the little kid just keeps dying over. I'm sorry, that particular video makes me laugh.
That kind of gets me into another thing about the Twitch. Like, I like the way Face Punch did. Like, you can make your own skins and whatnot. Unfortunately, you can't use your own skins. They have to be accepted into the Steam through the Steam.
Oh, okay.
Thing, and then they go on sale, and you get a cut of the sales for your thing. But like here, I did like an entire like Geek Public Radio skins for like trunks and shirt. Like literally, it's a GPR shirt and all this stuff. Because I was just going like, screw it.
I'm not giving you $1. I want my cut.
So I was sitting there like, that would be cool, like, hey, run around with my character having a GPR shirt on. That would be
be pretty neat.
But you can't use
I wish there was some more customization for things like clothing and stuff like that, especially on games like Fallout, where we could do that.
Like, be able to do your own skins and
instead of like us paying a crap load of atoms like real world money for that. I mean, I get it. We get free atoms all the time, but it's still one of those things where I think it'd be better served if you just let us create our own stuff.
Right.
But I get why. I mean, people would put some really offensive shit on there. So I get it.
I mean, I get that's part of the thing, but part of it is I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for other people. I like to be I like the door that I made a double door that has.
I feel like a system. I think to fix that system, I submit my design for my clothing to the whatever, and then within a week they respond and say, hey, this is not offensive, this works out just fine, you can go ahead and use this is fine.
Right, but they
I don't like asking for permission because I think that's silly, but at the same time I get it.
It's been cleared or what, like you got to wait for it to be cleared, like, okay, this is not whatever, but then it goes on the shop, and I'm like, I guess that's okay. But my little trunk that's red and has white on the top, it says "Don't open dead inside," or the double doors that are actually look like the hospital doors from the thing
from Walking Dead.
Like I did a bunch of these little things, like they have doors that say "I don't have anything," like literally on the door.
Some people will kill you just because you don't have anything. Like, screw you, why don't you have stuff? Die.
They're like, we can still get bones.
I don't even have bones anymore. You've killed me so many times.
Literally, the only thing I have is like,
There should be a diminishing returns. There should be a diminishing return system for killing people. That's how that should work. But speaking of killing people, Fallout 76 just updated on Tuesday, and then Wednesday servers were just down all day. It was great.
Like a
They
typical
updated and then they just brought like the Bethesda, classic Bethesda, man. Fix 2-3 things, crash the whole game.
it sounds
Tiny
like
Tina's their fourth DLC, their fourth Looking Glass, or Warp Glass, whatever it's called. The fourth glass just dropped. Mirror. That's it. The fourth Mirror DLC just dropped. As well as Blight Caller, the new playable class that has dropped as well. It is kind of fun to play with. I haven't leveled it up really high enough to be able to give you a great rundown on it, but it's interesting. Some of the class combinations are really cool. So, two things to look forward to. 76 is back up and running. It seems to be a lot of the network crashing games have seen, or network crashing issues have seemed to be resolved. So that's something. But, anyways, if you guys are having problems with your crashing and you can't seem to get along and you need something to do because your internet provider is just a worthless hunk of human garbage that's slapped together in a little box frame with internet, right? A little box. It gives you your internet and it's terrible. Maybe you got Verizon Fios or something. I don't know. But maybe you're bored. You need to read a book. Maybe you want to learn how to code. Maybe you want to learn a brand new language. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff with the latest offer that we have for you from our friends at Humble Bundle, but I'm not going to talk about it. Instead, I'm going to let the most gorgeous version of Topher that has ever existed tell you all about it. Take it away, Cartoon Topher.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Humble Bundle sells games, ebook software, and other digital content. Its mission is to support charity while providing awesome content to customers at great prices. They launched in 2010 with a single 2-week Humble Indie Bundle and have grown into a store full of games and bundles, a gaming membership service, a game publisher, and more. Join them and pay what you want for curated bundles of games, media, and software. All proceeds support charity and the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Visit the link on the screen and in the description of the video to support the channel and help the cause.
Cartoon Topher's so adorable. But yeah, check us out, guys, man. HumbleBundle.com. Make sure you click the links below. All right. So let's talk about what we came to talk about, because DC, this Warner Brothers Discovery. Okay, so in case people don't know, Discovery bought and merged with Warner Brothers. Now, Time Warner Media, the Warner Brothers franchise, they all own. They're all together. It's crazy. But since the merger has begun, several things have happened. Most notably, we talked about last week on the show, the Batgirl movie is canceled. It is no more. They were approximately 90%, by the way. Alas, so this is another small correction. I thought they were about halfway done. No, they were about 90% done with this movie.
Like they could literally almost put the whole thing back together.
Yeah, and they're not doing a direct to video. They're not doing any of those things. Yeah, see, look at that. Our friend in the chat has agreed that Cartoon Topher is adorable. But they're not doing anything with this movie. They are literally just going to stick it on a shelf, and it'll never be released. Somebody inevitably will get the footage and probably release it as a bootleg somewhere. Somebody will be able to watch it and judge how terrible it is. But if they got to the apparently it got to the point.
Harvey Korman's, Roger Corman's Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, apparently screening it got to test audiences. This is how bad it was. So the story gets deep. This got to test audiences. People were walking out. They were just walking out of the theater because they just could not believe how bad it was. And apparently several people who worked on the project were disgusted by it. They couldn't stand it. I'm not sure what all the issues were. There's several rumors that are abounding. But it was apparently just crammed full of a bunch of stuff that had nothing to do with Batgirl. Just nothing.
And what's funny is like, of course, the king of bad takes sometimes literally went on Twitter as soon as they was like it and derided WB as saying, it's a bad look to show a Latino Batgirl. That's how he put it. And
but they're releasing Blue Beetle, but whatever.
Yeah. Right. Well, no,
I'm not going to get into those semantics. But the term by the test audiences, the term propaganda was thrown around quite a bit. So I don't know what was in that film, but using that market I I don't know. There's ways to get your message across without being that bad, I guess. I don't know. But steaming pile of hot garbage was tossed around a bunch. So Warner Brothers, as we've mentioned last week, is competing for dumpster fire of the year. That's right there with EA. Yep, right there with EA and Blizzard Activision Blizzard. But they're cleaning up their act, so I mean, they might get out of jail on this one. They might avoid the golden dumpster fire award.
There actually was something that was released from Activision Blizzard saying that there's been an internal review and they have found that they have done nothing wrong.
And they're back on the leaderboard. Way to go, guys.
Well, they were saying that it was individuals and not the leadership. The leadership didn't know what was going on.
Oh, come on. No, I don't want to hear that crap. You're either as a leader, you are either responsible for it or you're supplying it. Like you are there is no I didn't know. That's your job. Your entire job as the leader is to know what your company's doing. So to sit there and plead ignorance is the most cop-out bullshit I've ever heard. Right back on the leaderboard, guys. Seriously, right? I mean, yeah, we're on a three-way race. I love this. It's a dead heat. Speaking of heat, Flashpoint for DC, baby. There is no Flash movie. That is not going to happen. It is ready for release. It is ready, and it is another film that they're just like, nope, not doing it. And the reason for that is less DC oriented and more. Ezra Miller is a just absolute train wreck of a human being.
There was one announcement about one thing. Literally 4 hours later, he was charged with something for
burglary in Vermont.
Yeah, and like child endangerment.
There was a kid in the house, so he was charged with child endangerment because of the burglary. I read up on all that too. I've been keeping up on the Ezra Miller news. I should have mentioned it last week, but I feel like F it. Here we are. We're going to talk about it today, just because of the Batgirl stuff, the Blue Beetle correction. We had to issue Gotham Knights. It's a WB DC episode, baby. But Warner Brothers is in a very prickly position right now, and if Ezra Miller doesn't stop his nonsense, they're never going to release Flash. They've delayed it.
What I heard was that they're going to release it. They're still moving towards that direction, but they're like weighing their options in the fact that they can release it and then have him not do any press and do all of the other stuff around it and bury the lead that he's like connected to
it. They, by the way, they. As an aside, they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there was the do it that way and then recast after the movie. So like you have this movie, whatever, or you just don't.
Well, if you kill them off, you could literally just off-screen kill them. Just off-screen kill. They go into the Speed Force at the very end of the movie, and then they're dead. Boom, it's over. If they get trapped in the Speed Force, that's it. That's actually an entire story that has happened in DC, and I think it was Wally West got trapped in the Speed Force, right? Mm-hmm. So just change it to where it's Barry Allen getting trapped in the Speed Force. Boom, you're done. You're done. Now you don't have to worry about it. Now you can cast the other four iterations of the Flash.
Yeah, I mean, then you could go with Wally West.
Right. You could do Wally West as a young man who literally he got knocked out of the Speed Force, doesn't have any of his memories. I mean, there's a million. Yeah, weighing options means oh shit, absolutely. DC's Warner Brothers really more than DC because DC owns the rights to it, but it's Warner Brothers more than anything else. They're in a bad spot, man. And he's been accused of running. They've been accused of running a cult. They assaulted a woman at a bar in Iceland. They have absolutely just gone berserk with, I don't know if it's the fame, I don't know if it's the alcohol or the drugs, I don't know if they need rehab, but there is some clear counseling that needs to be done with this individual. And without it, a once budding star and a representative of the queer community is not going to last and going to be run right. It's going to be run out of the rails. Like you're done. And
right now they are literally being accused of running a cult in Iceland. And
grooming
Iceland
an 18-year-old.
Iceland doesn't joke about a lot of that stuff.
There's a reason their crime rate's low.
But the one of the funny things that they canceled the Black Superman movie.
Yeah, I saw that too. Which
they're canceling a whole bunch of other stuff. One of the things that they were talking about canceling was the Jon Stewart
Green Lantern.
Which I don't think Static Shock. I think they should keep Static. I think they should keep the Jon Stewart. I think
here's why Jon Stewart's Green Lantern got really, really dark, like a lot. That whole story arc was seeped in a lot of controversy. So I'm not sure how I feel about it. I enjoyed that comic. I think it would be really cool. And if they're wanting to keep this darker version of DC going, then yeah, absolutely keep it. Showcase the trials that some of these heroes go through. I think that's important for humanizing these superhumans, right? That's as far as a narrative is concerned. If you don't do that, you've lost the plot, literally.
No, but it was like someone was making the comment like, oh well, all of the quote unquote woke stuff was literally being axed, like all of it. And I was like, but I don't see like Static. I don't see Stewart. I don't see even if they wanted to do a Black Superman, there is a universe with a Black Superman.
Yeah.
Do that.
There's several. I mean, there's lots of ways that they could get around doing some of this stuff without having to axe all these ideas. There's some feedback, sure. And Henry Cavill at this point, he's declined to work with DC again. He has declined reprising his role as Superman. I'm not sure if it's conflicting, like schedule conflict, because he's still filming The Witcher season 3. If it's because he wants to do other stuff besides playing Superman. I think his role as Superman has been iconic, and right. I think he sent the best since Christopher Reeve, hands down. I honestly feel like he does the best job with it. He's a very expressive individual. He's got the build for it. I think he plays a great Superman. That's my opinion. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about all that in the comments. Obviously, our friend in the chat has some words of wisdom. There we go. Monkeys tossing shit in the wall. Yeah, 100%. That there's nothing new in Hollywood. There's nothing new under the sun, man. All these ideas are just mostly regurgitated and stolen from writers or picked up by, picked up from different IPs. I mean, look at Repo Man versus Repo the Genetic Opera, right? I mean, it's a similar concept. It's almost the exact same movie without the opera part.
I mean, if you look at things, like as I'm writing our stuff, it's okay. I want to do this. Okay, that's like that. I want to do this. No, okay, that's like that. I want to do this.
Yeah, and it's difficult to come up with an original concept. Sometimes you just have to kind of go with what works. The best artists steal. So, but yeah, if you guys would like to, she probably could, bro. Speaking of off-color humor, if you guys are looking to upgrade your wardrobe with some sweet tees and some awesome merchandise, you guys make sure you check out tshirtmix.com. That is our very own merch store. That's a way that you can monetarily support us without becoming a member of the channel. But if you would like to check that out, Cartoon Topher has some words of wisdom for you and shows you exactly where to go. Take it away, Cartoon Topher.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Need your fix for fun shirts and things? The perfect place to get geeky, fun t-shirts and other merchandise, including tumblers, baseball caps, and so much more, is tshirtmix.com. Hundreds of designs you can choose from, as well as being the home of Geek Public Radio merch store. Come get our faces on your threads, or just grab one of the several funny designs that we have available. Just go to tshirtmix.com and check out all the fun. More designs are added daily. That's tshirtmix.com for all your novelty tees. Have fun, look around, and grab some awesome t-shirts.
Awesome. Still adorable. All right. I didn't have anything else. Covered all the ground I think we were going to cover. Talked about the horrible things happening at DC. Some good stuff coming out of their video game department. Talked about some new games that are coming out on the Switch. talking about some updates. We've had quite a filling show. Feel like some rust news, some Twitch news. That's pretty awesome. All right, so what else do we have? Do you have t-shirt sizes and fat ass? We sure do. We have fat ass sizes. Absolutely. Get yourself a fat ass t-shirt. Oh my God, that needs to be a t-shirt. My size is fat ass, like literally.
This is my fat ass shirt.
This is my fat ass shirt. Yes. There you go. Thanks for the design idea, bro. No, there's not any royalties. Don't ask. All right. From Geek Public Radio, we'd like to thank every single person that's joined us in the chat, every person that has watched us live, guys on Twitch, guys on YouTube, all you people out there. We love you to death. Thank you so much. We've come to you live from Geekland. I've been Crazy Chris.
I'm Topher.
And you guys have been awesome. Peace.
You've been listening to the Geek about new games, movies, most things geeky, and try not to poop in their diapers while they're talking. Thanks for listening to the show. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Twitter at Free Geek Radio, on Facebook and Instagram at Geek Public Radio, and the website geekpublicradio.com. We'll see you next